Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's new, very special episode of my live stream review of Forza Motorsport by Turn 10 Studios. And folks, for the next 55 ish minutes, because remember, this is a double dose of X Vlog Live. I'm going to be sitting down with Mav to continue this conversation at 12 p.m. And we're going to be talking about the little bit of a hiccup that Destin Legary had with his gameplay. Shout out to Destin, who went out there on the socials, explained exactly what happened, and we'll get into that. And of course, if you missed Mav's live stream last night, I watched it this morning, and I am normally not a guy who watches other people play and have the commentary, with the box in the corner. And it was really good. I literally listened to it as I got up this morning. I was making breakfast for me and Mrs. Boom before she was heading off to work. And on the way back in the car, I had it going. So shout out to Mav, an amazing stream. Really enjoyed it. But folks, we're here to talk about Turn 10 Studios and, of course, their latest release of Forza Motorsport. Now, normally I'm very chatty, and I try to be as chatty as I could in the chat. When I'm solo, understand that it's very difficult because if you saw my desk, I have notes everywhere because I really want to do like the quote unquote professional review. So, how I'm going to break this down so it's understandable, it is digestible, not only live on the air, but for someone that's going to pop in and maybe watch the video on the back end, I'm going to break it down into four categories: graphics, sound, gameplay, and accessibility. And not in that particular order. I am going to start with accessibility because, wow, this game allows for everyone that is even interested making this game your own, allowing for you to pretty much play the game how you want to play the game. But before we get actually into the review process, I am a big history buff. And I'm a big history buff specifically when it comes to gaming. And I love stats and I love reminding us of where we were and where we are now. So, earlier last month, I was treated to a very special invite from Microsoft, Turn 10 Studios, and more specifically Jeff Rubenstein, or as he's known on the socials, Rubes, to come and be a part of this Forza Motorsport preview event. And I say that because, and I really want to put it out there, we here, I mean, you got to understand, it's a mom and pop type of organization. It's just me, right? I do the heavy lifting, but behind the scenes, Mrs. Boom helps with some of the art. She helps with some of the finding of the articles. She puts together all of the contests. And when I think there's a limit, she finds a way to make it even higher. That's all her. That's all her. To be invited to something where you're seeing actual journalists go to, it's a really big deal. So, of course, I want to say thank you to Turn 10 Studios, to Xbox, and more specifically, Jeff Rubenstein, for keeping us a part of this incredible process. And while I was there, folks, I got a chance to meet the founder of Turn 10 Studios in Dan Greenwald, who is an absolute gentleman. But I also got a chance to meet Chris Izaki as well. And Chris is the creative director of Turn 10 Studios. And watching their excitement and watching them watching us was something to be said. That's how proud they were and excited for people to get their hands on Turn 10 Studios' newest and latest entry into the Forza Motorsport series. Now, I do have some stats that I don't want to bore you with them, but I do want to throw this out there for context because this is the 8th iteration of the franchise. It started out on the OG Xbox in 2005. And from that moment on, folks, they really did something special within the racing genre industry. And that is they put Polyphony, who is the developer of Gran Turismo, on their heels, and they have yet to stop pushing. And listen, I know that there is a lot of rhetoric on the socials right now about, Gran Turismo 87, 84, it's better. Folks, I'm here to tell you that we are, and I say we, me and Mav are going to get into it. This is another example of the 5 to 10 point Xbox tax that exists in social media. Now, if you want to boo me and you want to unsub because I'm calling gaming media out for this shenanigans, it's fine. It is perfectly fine. But I'm going to speak my truth, and I believe that in my heart of hearts, and we're seeing it here. I'm here to tell you that some of the takes that I have read and I have seen in video format are skewed. But we're going to break all of it down, and I'm going to give you my score on the back end of of today's show before we get into the actual X Vlog Live at noon. But let's talk about where they were, where we are. 2005 Motorsport releases on the LG Xbox and puts Polyphony on their heels. 2007 they come back with Forza Motorsport 2, and it's better. 2009 Forza Motorsport 3. 2011 Forza Motorsport 4, and those 2, 3, and 4 were on the Xbox 360. Then we saw Forza Motorsport 5 come out, along with, of course, Forza Motorsport 6. And what's interesting is you went from 2005 to 2007, and then 2009 and 2011, and of course from 2011 you went to 2013. But see, that is where Turn 10 Studios put the pedal to the metal, pun intended, because in 2015 they released Forza Motorsport 6, and then almost concurrent 3 years running in a row. And I don't know how they kept up this pace. 2015 was 6. 2016 was 2015 was Forza Motorsport 6, right? Then you had 2016's Forza Motorsport 6 Apex. And then, of course, 2017, you had Forza Motorsport 7. And it has been since 2017, folks, since we have had an official Forza Motorsport title. And in its place, or in its wake, so to speak, of its absence, Playground Games has taken over as the fan favorite for racing on Xbox because of Forza Horizon. And I really kind of want to put this out on Front Street before we get through. I am a Forza Horizon guy. I'm an arcade racer kind of a guy. It's for me, right? I like crashing through signs. I like making obscene rolls. I mean, you folks have seen my gameplay. It's pretty wacky, right? I love taking 1,200-foot jumps. I love running around from festival to festival. I like rolling up on an event. I jump into it. I jump out of it. I see everyone driving crazy. It's wonderful. It's my favorite part of the racing genre when it comes to Xbox exclusives. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I came into Forza Motorsport, which is, of course, a reboot of the title, not expecting to enjoy it the way that I am enjoying it. Not because it wasn't going to be good, not because it wasn't going to be high class, high caliber graphics and gameplay, because I'm not a gearhead. I'm a novice at best when it comes to this. And I gotta tell you, folks, it's pulled me away from Starfield. It has pulled me away from so many of the games that I am playing. Everything's like Starfield, game of the year for me. Can't stop playing it. Got 5+ days, and haven't even beaten it yet. I'm no rush to beat it, to be honest with you, to get to New Game Plus. But there's something about Forza Motorsport that keeps bringing me back in. When I'm not playing about it or playing, I'm thinking about it. So just for some context of where I am personally in the game, I have crossed over 24 hours worth of play. I have unlocked, where are my notes? I have unlocked 11 of the 57 achievements for a whopping 120 gamer score because, man, some of these achievements are really long-winded. Um, I have now, there is, so you know what? Let's get into, before, because I all the stuff I want to talk about, like, it's running through my head, and I'm doing this solo, so there's no one to bounce off of. I don't want to take away from the actual review. So what I want to do is I'm going to pause it right there. I want to go into the accessibility aspect of it because this is special, folks. This is very, very special. Um, the accessibility is so fine-tuned and it's so accessible that anyone who is considering, oh man, it's too much for me, it's a sim racer, I don't know. Take your time of jumping into the game and look through the accessibility options. It's daunting. It is a lot. It is a list as long as my arm. And when you go to the next section, it's just as long or even longer. But it's done not to mar the experience, not to confuse the gamer, to give you, the gamer, a choice of what you feel comfortable. Now, granted, I don't know what your comfort level is going to be. I played through the game for, its difficulty between 3 and 5. Um, that's the range that I went with. 3 in some instances I felt was too easy. I went to 5 and I was coming in fourth. Dropped down to 4, came in second. When and the one thing about this is that you're going to need to learn the cars. And I was watching ACG's video review, phenomenal, as it always is. Very rarely there's something that he puts out that I'm not a fan of. And one of the things that he talked about was this carrot on a stick type of situation. Now, in regards to the accessibility, um, you have the choice for just about everything. And I think, and you know what? Pause on the carrot on the stick situation because I'm going to come back to that. I do want to, let me, again, I do want to just give you what some of the choices that you have in the accessibility aspect of it. Now, for gameplay, I mean, for graphics, and this is part of the accessibility, they give you 3 options, folks. One, which is the performance 60 frames per second at 4K. That's recommended. The second one, which again, this is a first for the series. It is a first. It's really pushing the boundaries of what the Series X can do as a console. They give you the performance 60 frames, but they allow for on-track ray tracing. It's crazy. It's crazy that the Series X can actually do that. Gran Turismo 7 does have ray tracing, but only for when you're looking at the cars. This has actually on-track ray tracing, and that is crazy. And finally, they give you the visuals mode, which is complete 4K but 30 FPS. Just, you know what? This is a racing game. It needs to be at 60. So I'm playing it at performance mode 4K 60, and I'm enjoying the H out of it. I don't necessarily need the ray tracing. I don't even know if I would see it. The reflections that I'm seeing already are just, it's just bananas. So the accessibility allows for you to make all these changes that you want for you as the gamer. The difficulty, and like I said, it goes into such detail. It's like there is so much. Like I started to write it down to kind of discuss it, and I thought it was too daunting to if you're behind your TV and you're on your couch and you're reading it, it's like, okay, I'm fine. I'm reading it. To read it live on a podcast, it'd be like I'm trying to read you a book. You're gonna fall asleep and start snoring. So all I can tell you is that for the accessibility aspect of Forza Motorsport, it is some of the most unique and finite options for gamers that I have ever seen in gaming. And I think the best compliment that I could personally put forth on what they have done, what the team at Turn 10 Studios has done here, is to actually say that this needs to be an industry standard. Like, I don't care what genre it is. I don't care if it's a first person shooter. I don't care if it's over the shoulder story driven title. These options for the gamer, making the game for you, making the experience be exactly what you want it to be, is something like I didn't make a lot of changes. I'm going to be honest with you. But my God, if you want to really take your time and you want to customize this game to you as the player, there is no better list of options that I have ever seen in any game before it. I like I said, and you know it's funny, during the interview or during my time at this Forza event, they touched on how they really took player feedback into account and really went all in on the accessibility aspect. Like I said, I can do is applaud them for looking and because that's the thing, right? I explained to you in the beginning that for me, I didn't expect for me to like the game because I'm not a gearhead. And this is a sim racer. And they give I mean, there were a couple of choices here. We're going to get into them in a second. And when we start talking about the actual gameplay aspect, um, one of the things that specifically Chris Izaki said that they took feedback from the Forza Horizon crowd, and there were a lot of people that say, "Hey, listen, I want to love Forza Motorsport, but I'm more of a Horizon kind of a racer." Now, granted, you're not running through signs in this. You're not doing 1,200-foot jumps. You know, you're not doing any of those. You're not racing to the next, concert, that's across Mexico, and you're right. You're knocking tumbleweeds around. It's not like that at all. This is a sim racer, but it's a sim racer where it's approachable. That if you are someone from that genre like me, and the best way I can do is put the spotlight on me and say, if you are a fan of Forza Horizon, but you're a fan of Forza and you wanted to give this a go, I say take the time and get into the accessibility options that allow for you to make the game feel more of what you are used to. So I wanna quickly move into the gameplay aspect of it, because you're presented with three different choices when you start the game. Now I'm playing on club rules. Now, club rules is basically for novice. You don't really get penalized if you happen to go off the track. You don't get penalized if you hit other. You'll see. You'll see in my gameplay. Listen. These people are aggressive, and you know what? Shout out to the Septic Sauce. That dude is crazy. His drive avatar is so aggressive. It's bananas, guys. I'm looking at you, brother. Bananas. I think he's level. What is he? 17? No, 20, 24, I think. I just hit level 17. I'm a stone throw away from level 18. I'll give you all my stats in a second for the gameplay aspect of it, because I ran through 5 different cars. And okay, so what I want to do real quick is I want to continue with the 3 different rule sets that you can go. Now, gearheads like Sir X-Men, like Fuzzy Belvedere, these are professional drivers. I'm not a professional driver. Just look at the screen. They're going to play on expert rules. That's the third choice. The second choice is street rules. I'm sorry, sport rules, which is kind of like it's in the middle, so it's kind of a little bit of best of both worlds. I'm playing on club rules. Club rules is as novice. It's I don't want to say it's arcade, but it's arcadey, if you will. And it's listen, it's what I'm going to play on. So in regards to the gameplay, right? They have 5 different sets of control options making this game again very accessible for you. Now the control is preset at heavy assist. Now I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I could have been like, yeah, man, I'm playing moderate because I'm a real man. Folks, I'm not full of shit, and you know it. I'm as clear as glass. So I'm playing exactly how they started the game on heavy assist. That's how I'm playing. I want to enjoy the game. I don't want to throw my controller because my controllers are expensive and I don't want to break them. So I'm playing on heavy assist. Now, there are again 5 choices here that you can, and let me go to my notes, pardon me. You have heavy assist, which you start out with, which is preset. You have moderate assist, you have balanced assist, which of course is the middle one. You have light assist and minimum assist. Now, I would imagine that if you put a minimum assist in my hands and I was running through the rain like this, it's all over for Mr. BoomStick XL. I'm going to run it. You're going to see damage all over the place. It's just again options, folks. It's amazing to have options. Um, Now, real quick, we do have a super chat here before I continue. Oh, wow. Jim Ryan's here. Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account drops a very generous $5 super chat. Jim, don't do that. You're taking money away from the next Spider-Man. Don't do it. He says this: managed 3 hours last night, and the audio and visual designs are sublime. Love the damage detail too. Can't wait to put dozens more hours into in the coming weeks. Yeah, we're gonna get into the sound as well because I don't have a sound bar. I have the regular TV, but I was like I played a little bit just with the sound TV, but then I wanted to really hear what was going on. I'm gonna give you my headphones experience. Wow. I mean, just freaking wow. So those are the control types that you have the 5 different control types. I mean, no matter, I think one of the things that was brought up in ACG's uh, video review is the options for steering wheels. Now, I don't have a steering wheel. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a novice. I'm a rookie, if you will. I play with a controller. That's what I use. That's what I've always been comfortable with. Have I had wheels in the past? Yes, but as you can see by the lovely decor from Mrs. Boom, which of course are peacocks, which they're elegant creatures. Uh, we're in an apartment. I don't have a man cave. Now, once I do, because we're saving up for a place, our first home, I'm gonna have all these bells and whistles, and I'm definitely gonna have like one of those seats there's a new one that actually came out for fours that you can kind of fold up. It looks really dope. I don't have it. I don't have the room for it. So I'm just using a controller. I don't have any place for a wheel. But the options for wheels, especially on the force feedback, it's probably the best in the series from what I understand. Now, I can't attest to that. I'm only going what ACG said because again, I don't have a steering wheel. But yeah, it's again the gameplay is just it's on another level because, like I said, one of the things that you can take off, which I think Fuzzy Belvedere and even Sir X-Men said they were going to do, is the rewind feature. I very rarely use it, but I'm not going to wipe out at the back end of a 6 lap race because I made a boo boo. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing that, folks. I'm not about that life. I'm about winning and being in first, and I'm not cheating to get there. But I'm going to use the rewind button, as you will see in several of these this hour-long video in front of you. Again, this is actual gameplay, my recorded gameplay. It is using I think that is the Lotus 2018. Yeah, that's the Lotus 2018 LMS GT3. So getting into the game, continuing the talk of gameplay, I have used a total of 5 different cars. I have all a list of all the cars that I use, where my level is. I'm like I said, for the driver level, which is again the way that they level up here, and this is what I was talking about earlier. If you remember the carrot on the stick, um, at first I was like, so every time I pick a car, I got to start from one. I don't know so much about that because I'm not used to that. I'm used to, you pick a car in Horizon and you level up that car as you go, and your driver level is your car level, right? It's like whatever you are, you're 96, and that's what it is. This is different. And this is where the carrot on the stick really comes to play, because you are thrown, especially if you got the early access, you are thrown a lot of cars. And we're going to get into the gameplay aspect of it in a moment, of what you can actually do in the game, like what modes. Because this is, again, this is where I kind of take off a bit of a half point, because I wish there were more, but we're going to get into the score, and I'm going to break down exactly of the four categories, what hits what and where my overall score is. But the way it works is your driver is consistently, like an RPG, getting experience. And the more you drive, the higher your driver tar level will be. I'm just, again, stone throw away from 18 is where I am right now. No extra bonuses, no extra XP. It's just that's how much driving I have done. I've done over a day's worth of driving, and I'm loving every minute. Matter of fact, I cannot wait to get back to it. That's how this game has me right now. But when you pick a car, the car level starts at level 1. And how you level up that car is by obviously racing. You get points or experience points for, like you'll hit a time marker. You got to get to the other time marker. And if you do it in a time that beats your own record, you get experience. You get experience for passing other cars. Now you're going to see it pop on the screen here. You'll see, like, passing 10, 10, 10, 10. And as you're going, no matter where you're racing, you're getting experience points. And these experience points allow for you for unlockables, and unlockables that in regards to parts. And you can upgrade your parts, and depending on how much part points you have, you can level up everything, but there are limitations. And now and it's very easy to do. You'll see that you'll be able to pick a part, like, for instance, let's go into like, for instance, the engine, and you'll be able to upgrade your engine, but it'll tell you how many part points that you have. And if you go over it, it turns red, so you can't do it. And it's again, uh, not to sound repetitive, this is where the carrot and the stick situation comes in, because I originally thought I was not going to enjoy having to level up another car. Like, oh my god, I gotta level another. This is ridiculous. No, this game is so addictive, at least for me. Again, I don't know if it's going to be addictive for you. Do your thing. But for me, it is where I can't wait until I have to pick another car. Now let's get into, let me see here. Where are all my notes here? The career, the different options that you have for the gameplay in regards to the modes. And I'm going to be honest with you folks. There's some stuff that are locked behind, like, opens up in 5 days, opens up in 12 days. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that if I put the time in, it should open now, but that's one of the half points that I remove. Um you have career, which obviously is, well, your career. And inside that career mode, there are a ton of different um, driving options for you. You can pick muscle cars. You can pick the high class, supercars once you unlock it. And again, there's a lot in there for you to enjoy. And the way that you open up some of the higher end ones is by getting the cup, finishing the races. I believe it's either 5 or 6 different types of events where you'll do one event, and it'll have, like, like a race, and then you'll go to the next one. And then and before all the races, folks, there is a practice section where they give you a chance to learn the track. It is 3 laps A lot of people have been skipping over it. I want to enforce that you shouldn't, because you are gaining experience not only as the driver, but you're gaining experience for the car that you're using in order to upgrade the part. So don't skip the practice mode. I skipped a couple of times and then I was like, wait a second, I'm not leveling up as quick as I want. What is going on? And that's because I was a knucklehead. I was skipping and like I said, even if you are like 2.5 laps into the practice mode and you bounce out of it, you lose all that XP. So don't do that. Actually do the races. Now, there are a total, I think I went over this on one of the other shows that we did, 500 cars to start, which of course they're going to continue to add to. And one of the things that a lot of people kind of docked it of points is there's only 20 tracks. And I say only, like, what the hell do I know about designing tracks? There are 20 tracks here. Now, most of them are real, some of them are fictionally made for the game. And each track has three different levels of length. And I forgot who it was that I asked. I thought I wrote it down. There are reversible. You can reverse the tracks. That is an absolute fact. Now, I don't know if you can reverse every track. I did reverse, I think, like 5 or 6 different tracks that I tried on. And I'll give you my top three picks in regards to actual circuits. These three top for me. You may think differently, and that's fine. But like I said, the more you level up, the more you can upgrade your vehicle, which is great. And again, I have 5 vehicles, so I'm going to read you my 5 vehicles and my levels, kind of give you where I'm at. One of my favorite rides is what you see in front of you. It is the Audi 2018 LMS GT3. I got this up to level 21. Now, one of the newer cars that I just picked that I'm really enjoying is the Lotus 2011. It's what do I have here? The Evora S5. That is, I got that up to level 5. I'm just about to hit level 6 on that car, but I literally just started that car today. I used also, and I'm a big Subaru fan. I don't know about you folks. I used actually my next 3 cars are all Subarus because they handle phenomenally. I have the 2008 Subaru Impreza, the STI. I got that up to level 24. I got the Subaru 2022 BTZ. I got that up to level 17. And one of the last one that I used was the 2019 Subaru, the STI S209. I got that up to level 9. So I spent significant time with these cars. And that's the thing. Like, I actually I'm enjoying the actual racing so much that I can't wait to pick another car. Now, there are that so I went into it, and I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, folks. Again, this is a one-man show. I don't normally do reviews, so hopefully I'm doing a good enough job to appreciate the time that I'm putting in. So, you had the career mode, you have the featured multiplayer, which is, again, it's multiplayer. My favorite mode of all of them. I like the career, and I'm going to continue to do the career, but I like the free play. The free play is as simple as it sounds. Pick a car, pick a track, pick where you want or how you want to race. You want to race in the rain, you want to race in the fog, you want to race at midnight, you want to race at sunset. How many cars do you want on a track? I always pick 24. I always pick 23, 24 including myself. I have raced in all of the elements. I have raced just about on, I don't want to say every track. I want to say more than half of the tracks I've gotten to. And it's my favorite mode. But this is the kicker, folks. All that you do here in the free mode counts towards your driver's career, meaning that whatever XP you get to level up your cars, whatever XP you get to level up you as a character, it is there. It stays with you. You don't lose anything. So, what are my favorite tracks? Now, this is going to vary from people to people. I have here my top 3 tracks, folks. And Hakone, Japan is number 1. It's gorgeous. It is, and I love racing it. And I don't know why, but what it is. I guess because everything is glowing. It is phenomenal. That's my number 1 track. Now, my second track, which could have easily been my first and favorite track because it's open, is right here. It's Maple Valley. It is so open. See this track gave me the Horizon, Forza Horizon kind of a feel to it. Even though it's yeah, obviously it's got the stand, it's got the crowd. When you get to the open parts where it's just like the foliage, you can see the tree and everything, unbelievable. So I that's my second favorite track. Could have easily been my first. And the third one, surprising, I was even surprised this because it's very racing, is the Miami Speedway. I really, really liked that track. So those are my top 3 tracks, folks. I don't have a favorite car. I think the one in front on the screen now is probably, like I have to play with more cars. I have to get more cars, but I'm quite enjoying the gameplay aspect of it. Again, it's with the accessibility matched with the gameplay and the control. It's probably one of my favorite. I'll put it to this way: it's the best in the series. It is literally the best Forza Motorsport in the entire series, hands down. No questions asked. This is not me being an Xbot. This is me telling you that this game is freaking phenomenal. What do I want to talk about next? You know what? Let's get into the sound. Let's get into the sound, folks. This is where I think the road hits the rubber or the rubber hits the road, however you want to put it. I have only played like I said, about 24 hours. And for about half, about half of my 24 hours played, I used just the TV and the TV speakers, and it was great. But where it really does excel, and I don't have a sound bar because remember we're in an apartment, so we share a space with neighbors on our floor, so I can't have it booming as if I owned my own house. Now we're working on it. Hopefully we'll get there at some point. But when we have our own home, I'll be able to get the whole sound bar thing, put the speakers in the corners, and really enjoy, like an arcade kind of a feel with the with the loudness. So what I used was these. I used my Starfield headphones. I have Dolby sound. And I got to tell you folks, wow. Wow, wow, and wow. The sound in this game is so fine-tuned that I mean, I know that there are a lot of racers out there, but I don't know if those developers went to the lengths, and if I could even truly appreciate how much work went into the sound on Forza Motorsport. The sound is just incredible. Down to the grinding when you hit other cars or you're running alongside of a car. There's like this grind that you hear in your ears. You hear the shift. You hear the rubber on the road. Like it's crazy that if you are really paying attention, what detail there is in the sound. Um, I don't know how they can improve it. I'm going to be honest with you. And like I said, uh, the best advice I can give to you as a player is to honestly l- get your favorite pair of headphones. I don't care where they are. If you have a nice man cave or woman cave kind of a situation where you can really turn the dial up to 11, do it because the engine noise, the braking, the hitting other vehicles, the taking the turns. Like you hear the rubber on the road, like the grinding of the rubber. It's like I said, this is not one of the biggest segments. We're going to be another minute or so to talk about the sound. The best advice I can give to you is to play this with headphones on because you really get a chance. Like you saw the how I just passed. Like you I don't want to say you feel it because you do feel that there is rumble in the controller. Like if you hit the sides, you hit a car, you're gonna feel it. But when you're that close to another car and you're whizzing by them, you're hearing that vehicle in your ears if it's going by. It's really some of the best audio I've ever heard for a racing game in this genre. This is a Gears head type of a game that really does put anyone that wants to experience a full-on racing sim with all the bells and whistles when it comes to control and options and gameplay, but the sound is they really put a lot of work into the sound. I don't know how much more I can go into it. I do want to get into the graphics because we are getting close to the hour, and obviously I'm going to come right back. I haven't even had a drink yet, so let me just wet my palate before I lose my voice because I don't know if anyone that's in the chat that's been podcasting, if you ever tried to do this for an hour, it's tough. I don't know how people do it because I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like the voice is slipping. All right, so um, I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Let me go to the chat and see. First of all, we got 250 people here, which is great. All I can say is thank you for checking out this video review. I normally don't do reviews. I was thinking about actually doing a quote unquote video, but that's just not my forte. My forte is what you see in front of you, in front of the mic. I feel more alive. I feel more connected to you folks. So here I am. Like I said, I don't have the actual time to say hello to everyone. I do want to say thank you and hello to all 250 people that are here. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are on the hunt for 14K. And in the last day or two, we've lost 12 subs. I don't know what I did, but it's fine. If you don't want to sub, don't sub. I think maybe a lot of people sub because they thought they were going to win a prize, and well, that's not the way it works. If you are in the chat during a live stream and the picker picks you, yeah, you can win a prize. But remember, half the prizes go up front to channel members because that's only fair. Let's see. So before we get to the graphics, kind of want to just reach out to the chat. Anyone have any questions? Because I normally like to do the questions and answer stuff. And remember, I have another show after this, so I can't really, like go into detail. But I'm gonna take a couple of questions. So I'll wait a minute. I'll take another, sip of my favorite water from Stop and Shop. And no, they're not a sponsor, but this water is dope. It's got 0 calories and it tastes delicious. I don't know. Quan is terrible. So I'm going to resub. Well, that's very kind of you, Quan. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's very kind. My money's a little funny. Until next week, brother. Listen, you don't need to do super chats. No one does. You're not required. Does it help us do the giveaways? Sure. Does it help us keep the channel looking good and fresh? Because I've hired, I think Sean Labrie has done this year 11 different projects for the channel. 11. That's not free. And his pricing is amazing. Sean Labrie does all my work. He is freaking phenomenal. And well, he's worth every penny. But again, we use the super chats and the channel memberships to, to do what we need to do to keep the channel running. But Drawn TJ dropped a very generous $2 super chat and says, I have 5.14 Dolby Atmos surround sound. That's dope, dude. Like I said, I wish we could, but we're in an apartment, so I'm not going to get a sound bar or a boom box and bother the neighbor underneath us. Or we have great neighbors. So we don't want to, we don't want to cause any problems. When we finally get a home, hopefully next year or the year after, the man cave is going to be dope. I am unearthing so many collectibles that I have in storage that I can't show. It's going to be dope. Let's see. Tim the Sorcerer says Dolby Atmos 400-watt bar under the TV, but always the Atmos Turtle Beach behind 28. That's dope. 28-inch monitor. Yeah, I love the big screen. I'm treating myself to a new TV. I have a TV that I know the LG. Everyone's like LG. I'm sticking with Samsung. It's my favorite TV. It's their newest one. It's gotten 5 stars from everyone that reviewed it. The only thing it doesn't have is Dolby Vision, which I'm a little disappointed. But they have like this new technology. It is getting rave reviews. I'm going to treat myself at the end of the year. I want a new TV. This one I think is from 20. I want to say 2019, maybe 2018, maybe even 2018. I got to look at my notes and see how old this TV is. It's old. It's time to get a new one. Oh yeah, far Q. It says there are too many rare sun rays. 6 out of 10. Yeah, I actually saw a review. I don't know. Someone posted it. I didn't see the review. Let me correct myself. Where they said it's too much about cars. Like, is that a joke? Is that someone trying to be facetious or funny in their review? Too much about cars. Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of stupidity that goes on. Okay, so now that I've been able to compose myself and get my voice back a little bit, folks, let's get into the graphics. The graphics on this are the best in the series. All you have to do is look what's playing on your screen. Now, understand that this is 1920 by 1080p. I don't know what you're going to get on YouTube, but that's what the StreamYard software offers. It doesn't offer 4K. It offers 1080p by 1920 or 1920 by 1080p. And this game looks phenomenal from my point of view. Now, I don't know how it's going to transition to YouTube, if it's going to look fuzzy or it's not. The graphics are probably the best in the business. I have zero issues admitting that. I think what you get here is top-notch detail. And I'm not talking about just when you're in your garage and you blow out the car and you're looking at the seats and everything. Look at the car. Look at what's on the screen. This is all real time. This is me playing the game. This is real time. This isn't, this is my recorded footage. The detail on the cars are bonkers. The details on the tracks are even more bonkers. There is nothing about this game, and again, I will say this, and Mav and I are gonna get into this in the next 20 minutes or so. There are a lot of disingenuous takes going on. And I've even seen some from the media. Now, I'm not going to get into a piss and match with the media. Look, at the end of the day, there is worth to me as much as a bag of nickels, which ain't much. I don't trust the media. I know that this is a business. I know that the market leader in Sony is padding a lot of pockets. I know IGN is right up there. We know that 40% of their ad revenue comes from Sony. I'm sorry, the shenanigans that's been going on there is business. Jay Good, of Twitter, blocked them. He said, "I've had enough. I blocked them. I blocked them a long time ago. F IGN. I could care less." Now, I'm not saying F to everyone because they have a lot of really great people that work there, but a lot of really shitty ones as well. So all I can tell you is the graphics that some people are complaining about, I think are really, truly disingenuous takes. This game leapfrogs over its prior game, which of course was Forza Motorsport 7. And again, just to show you how long the media has been going on. You remember when Forza Motorsport 7 was accused and points were taken off because it was had loot boxes, even though it didn't have loot boxes that you could buy. I don't know. It's that kind of stuff, and I think that the Xbox tax is real. I think you're starting to see it, and it's been since since really we've seen it show its fangs since Starfield. I expected this to be a very high 90 meta because it is a high 90 meta game, and as the kids like to say, they're just not letting it be great. So review it how you want to review it, play it how you want to play it, but I'm here to tell you that the graphics here are legendary graphics on just about everything, and the fact that they actually have on track ray tracing tells you how much work went into getting this game to work with ray tracing for Xbox Series X. Like I said, you have 3 different graphical choices that they give for you. I love visuals, but I'm not gonna take away performance. So I'm playing it at the recommended 4K 60. If you're a trace kind of a person and you have a screen that's going to like if you have, especially if you have a big beefy PC, I say good on you. Play it. Play it there and throw on all your bells and whistles. But I'm happy with the 4K 60 as you see on the screen. But like I said, in regards to graphics, it's best in the series. So before we get out of here, and again, I'm sorry, I didn't. I know I should have. I tried to even it out the best I could, but it's a solo man show, and it's tough to talk for an hour. I want to give you my overall score. My overall score is 9.5 out of 10. Now, the half point that I took away was from me, and I'm looking at my notes. Pardon, I don't like to look at the phone, but the only half point that I take away, and I saw a lot of people talk about this, was the lack of variety in the career mode. Now, there are a lot of choices there. I just don't think that there's enough choices. Now, will they add? Yes. Is that something that they can improve on? 1,000%. But if, like I said, for me, the half point comes the way of what is missing. Now they have, like I said, they have a lot of great choices, but it just kind of feels a little light in regards to the career mode. So graphics gets a 10, sound gets a 10, accessibility gets a 10, and in the gameplay, I shave off a half point. So I'm happy. I'm happy and honestly thrilled to say that Double Barrel Gaming, without being an Xbot, who actually put over 24 hours into the game and really enjoyed his time with it and cannot wait to get back to it, gives Forza Motorsport by Turn 10 Studios a solid 9.5 out of 10. So I mean, again, I know there's some stuff that I missed. I know there's, like I saw people talking about the cockpit view, which I don't like, but I did use it a couple of times, and it's really good. I'm not a professional reviewer, folks. I'm just a podcaster. I hope that I answered all of your questions. We will continue this conversation in the next 7 minutes when we go live on X Vlog Live. I'm going to just get ready to get on out of here, but I know we did get another super chat comes the way of Game Shark. And he says, I tried to find flaws. I couldn't. The only negatives I saw were people's preferences, which are subjective wants and not flaws. And that's a great point. That's a fantastic point. Look, you're going to judge the game how you're going to judge the game. You know that with me, I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm doing this out of respect and well, more so out of responsibility to the fact that I got a review code. So I was going to do this right. And out of respect to the audience that I have built here, I'm not doing this so you can throw more money at me or I can be put on a pedestal. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10 because that's what I feel this game deserves. Now, other people are going to think differently, and that's fine. I'm not going to challenge it, but it's, I'll put it to this way. Like I said earlier, and I will continue to repeat this until it's embedded in everyone, there is an Xbox tax. It makes me sick that there is. And no matter what they do, I think moving forward, I don't care how good the game is, you're not going to see the IGNs, the PC Mags, or the GameSpots give anything a 9 or above. You're just not going to see that anymore because they're going to extract their revenge on Microsoft putting Sony in their place, which you're going to see happen in the next 12 to 18 months. Sony is not the same Sony that they were, and we will see it. And what you may see are the Dan Stapletons do what cowards do, which is what he is, and tuck his tail between his leg and come lapping up Xbox's leg when the market leader is no longer Sony. And I say that with absolute disrespect because, well, I don't give a shit. And that's how I'm going to end this. But ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the rant. I do want to say thank you for checking this out. I want to say, don't forget, we're going live in 4 minutes on the new episode of X Vlog Live, where we're going to be talking about this and a few other hot button topics. And of course, again, I apologize that I couldn't say hello to everyone. It's kind of my thing. I like saying hello to you. But I just, there's not enough time. I'm only a solo man, and it was fun. And I'll say this before you get out of here. I knew this was going to be fun because I had butterflies before doing it. And that's because I was excited to get out here in front of you, give you my review, break it down the best I could. And that's how you know you're doing what you love, when you have butterflies. And that's what I did prior to getting here. And I've been doing, I don't know if we have 1,200 plus videos on YouTube. So listen, folks, again, I won't hold you up. Pause for a second, go to the bathroom, grab a drink, grab a sandwich. We're going to see you back here in 4 minutes on the new episode. So get ready for that. And a big thank you once again to the super chats that came in, to the channel memberships that continue to come in. And of course, I'm going to close out the show. Something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day, folks, it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me when kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you on the next episode in 4 minutes of X Vlog Live.